That junk is crazy. Yeah, there you go, Amber. I found a couple different hats. Nice. Alright, let's read some more of these. A skunk was arrested for counterfeiting. Apparently, he gave out bad cents. How can you double your money? By folding it in half. What would you do if a bull charged you? Pay whatever it charged. I wasn't surprised when the price of balloons went up. There's always inflation in that business. Which American president was the least guilty? Abraham Lincoln. He was innocent. Why couldn't the art dealer pay his rent? He ran out of Monet. I spent all my money on 17th century paintings and classical instruments. Now I'm Baroque. Why did the lumberjack go to the bank? He wanted to open a shavings account. Why was the robber so secure? He was a safe robber. You can't keep secrets in a bank. There are too many tellers. I was reading the daily newspaper this morning when I saw a shocking story. About 1 week ago, the paper had published a report about election fraud. In retaliation for the scandalous exposure, some of the members from the political party that had falsely won attacked the newspaper's offices last night. I exclaimed to my coworker, "Can you believe they did that? How horrible! What did they do?" She responded, "Toppled file cabinets, destroyed some papers, smashed computers. Was there any loss of life?" "No," I said. "It just looks like a monetary loss." All these long setups are just disappointments. Where do Eskimos keep their money? In snowbanks. Why did the farmer feed money to his cow? He wanted rich milk. I kept putting money into the change machine yesterday, but nothing changed. Where do plants invest their money? In the stock market. How did the Vatican pay bills? They use PayPal. What does Santa call his wife at tax time? A depending clause. When does a female deer need money? When she doesn't have a buck. Or when she needs some dough, right? Did you hear that the authorities found all the counterfeit German currency? They were question marks. What do you get if you cross a sorceress with a millionaire? A very rich person. Where does a fish keep its money? In the riverbank. A man heard about the discovery of gold in California. Like others hoping to cash in on the big rush, he immediately quit his job, packed his possessions, and headed out west. However, after a year trying to mine for gold, the man gave up and returned to his old home completely penniless. It did not pan out. How can you get rich by eating? Eat fortune cookies. Who makes $1 million a day? Someone who works in a mint. I flipped a coin over an issue the other day, but it was a toss-up. Why can't the bank manager ride a bike anymore? He lost his balance. If you went to a concert for 45 cents, who would pay? Who would play? 50 Cent and Nickelback. Why was money called dough? Because we all need it. When a duck goes shopping, does it pay cash or check? Neither. They put it on the bill. A persistent banker wouldn't stop hitting on me, so I asked him to leave me alone. How else can you double your money? Look at it in a mirror. A businessman called the passport agency because he had a question about the documents he would need to fly to China for work. After a long discussion about renewing his passport, the clerk reminded him he would need a visa to travel to that country. The man said, "Oh, I don't need that. I've been to China many times for work, and I've never had one of those." Confused, the clerk double-checked his records and replies, "I'm sorry, sir. Your stay will require a visa." When he heard this, the man was annoyed. He responded, "Okay, I've been to China multiple times. Every single time they have accepted my American Express." How do you know the moon is how do you know the moon is going broke? It's down to its last quarter. What lands as often on its tail as it does on its head? A penny. Why was the coach yelling at a vending machine? He wanted his quarterback. What does a cloud do when it gets an itch? Finds the nearest skyscraper. I'm so bright that my dad calls me son. Why don't you wear snow boots? Because they will melt. Did you hear about the riots on Mars? The government declared Martian law. What does a cow make when the sun comes out? A shadow. I was trying to catch some fog earlier, but I missed. Why was the cat afraid of the tree? Because of its bark. Did you hear about the restaurant on the moon? Great food, no atmosphere. In which state does the Ohio River run? In the liquid state. The only thing that flat earthers fear is fear itself. What kind of hair do oceans have? Wavy. A Russian couple is walking down the street in Moscow when the husband feels a drop hit his nose. I think it's raining, he says to his wife. No, that feels like snow to me, dear, she replies. Just then, a Communist Party official walks towards them. Let's not fight about it, the man said. Let's ask Comrade Rudolph whether it's officially raining or snowing. It's raining, of course, Comrade Rudolph says and walks on. But the woman insists. I know that felt like snow. To which the man quietly says, Rudolph the Red-Nosed rain, dear. I have a hard time trusting trees. They seem kind of shady. What runs all day but never gets tired? Water. Orion's belt is a big waste of space. What is sticky and brown? A stick. How many apples grow on trees? All of them, I guess, right? Mountains aren't just funny. They're hill areas. I stayed up all night wondering where the sun had gone. Then it dawned on me. How do you find your dog if it's lost in the woods? Put your ear up to a tree and listen for the bark. What do you use to cut the ocean? A seesaw. For years, I've suspected my wife of adding soil to my garden. When I asked her about it, she just shrugged. The plot thickens. What's the scariest plant in the forest? Bamboo. I'd like to know how the earth rotates. It would make my day. What's a tree's favorite drink? Root beer. What lies on the ocean floor, twitching uncontrollably? A nervous wreck. Did you hear about the quarry that went out of business? They hit rock bottom. What did the dad volcano say to his son? I lava you. R.I.P. boil water, you will be missed. What did the ground say to the earthquake? You crack me up. Plateaus are the highest form of flattery. How can you take a bath without water? You sunbathe. Two botanists were working on a research project together. In all seriousness, one turned to the other and said, You know, this job may not be the most popular, but I do love it. The other botanist stared blankly at the first and didn't respond. The first one continued, If you're not a fan of tree puns, you can leave me alone. Maybe they're just okay to some people, but I firmly believe my jokes are quality. The other botanist walked away without saying a word. What planet is like a circus? Saturn, because it has 3 rings. Rivers are so lazy, they never get out of their beds. What happens to nitrogen when the sun comes up? It becomes nitrogen. How do trees access the internet? They log on.